Good morning, students. Today we continue our lecture on S block elements. This lecture is presented by me, Pranit Ghatak, your chemistry teacher. So, let's begin. As you all can see from the heading itself, today we will discuss about the chemical properties of alkaline earth metal. In the last few classes, we have already done the physical and the chemical properties of alkali metals, and in the last class itself we have discussed about the physical properties of alkaline earth metal. Okay, so as we know, the S block elements mainly contains two groups, that is alkali metals, that is group number 1, and group number 2, that is alkaline earth metal. In the last few classes we have already done with the alkali metals, and in the last class itself we have done with the physical properties of alkaline earth metals. So by doing this chemical properties of alkaline earth metal, we will be finishing this chapter off. Okay, so let's get started. Similar to the all metals, especially the alkali metals, the alkaline metals also having some similar properties with alkali metals and other metals as well. Namely, the reducing property. As we know, all the metals react by donating electrons. Okay, so all the metals mainly donate electrons, and they react by donating electrons only. So donating electrons means it will itself get oxidized. So metals itself gets oxidized because suppose any metal that is donates electron, so it will get M plus, that means its positiveness increase. So here the oxidation state is 0, but here the oxidation state will be plus 1. Okay, so here the charge or oxidation state increases. So what happens, by donating electrons, metals will get oxidized, but it will reduce other, because any other molecule, suppose a P molecule, will take this electron and it will be reduced. So P will be P minus. Okay, so here the charge oxidation state of P is 0, but after taking the electron it will be minus 1. So here the reduction will going on. So what happens, so any metal that react by donating electron, it will itself get oxidized, but it will do the reduction to the others. So any metals, especially the alkaline earth metal or alkali metals, are called a reducing agent. Okay, so it has a reducing property. Alkaline earth metals have 2 electrons in the valence shell, as we also know that on the physical properties, that is in the valence shell they have NH2 electronic configurations. So they will donate these 2 electrons to get the electronic configuration of noble gas, and by taking the noble gas configuration they will be highly stable. Okay, so to do so, they will be donating 2 electrons and become dipositive ions. Hence, to become the dipositive ion and to donate this 2 electron, they will be acting as a reducing agents. Okay. So point number 2 is reaction with oxygen. So whenever any metal, mainly the alkaline metal, that is beryllium, magnesium, calcium, strontium, barium and radium, all of these, while reacting with oxygen, it will form a metal oxide. Similarly, suppose beryllium plus oxygen, it will form BO, 2BO, this kind of product. So a metal oxide, beryllium oxide will be formed. Okay, so this is a very common reaction, but the next reaction is very much important. In the case of higher metals like calcium, strontium and barium, when they react with oxygen, they will form a metal oxide. After forming the metal oxide, they will again react with oxygen and they will form a metal peroxide. Okay, that is BaO2. Here in the case of barium, when barium is being reacted with oxygen, it will form barium oxide, and again barium oxide again react with oxygen further, and it will give a product of barium peroxide. Okay, so this peroxide can also only be done for the case of higher elements like calcium, strontium and barium. Okay, so let's move to the next reaction, that is reaction with hydrogen. So any alkali metal, especially the calcium, strontium and barium, the higher metals, when react with hydrogen, they will form a metal hydride. Okay, so metal hydride is what? So whenever, suppose this is a metal and this is hydrogen, it will form, it will form a product of metal hydride. So whenever metal hydride is being formed, it is being react with, when it is reacting with H2O, it will form a metal hydroxide, MOH whole base 2, because the valency of alkali metals, alkaline earth metal is 2, so it will form a metal hydroxide itself. Okay, so the first thing first, so when metals, any metals, mainly the alkali metal, alkaline earth metals of heavier elements like calcium, strontium and barium, when they react with hydrogen, they will form a metal hydride, and this metal hydride, when this metal hydride reacts with water further, they will form a metal hydroxide. Okay, and liberate hydrogen, here you can see from this equation itself. Okay, so let's move to the next slide. Here, the reaction with nitrogen. As you know, the reaction of hydride, when the reaction with hydride means when alkali metals, alkaline earth metal is reacted with hydride, it will form a metal hydride, and metal hydride when reacted with water, it will form a metal hydroxide. Okay, so similarly here in the case of metal nitrogen or reaction with nitrogen, it will form a metal nitride. Okay, suppose this is a metal, and when it is reacted with nitrogen, it will form a metal nitride, that is M3N2. Okay, and this M3N2, while metal nitride when reacting with H2O, it will give a product of metal hydroxide. So whenever metal hydride or metal nitride is being reacted with H2O, whenever metal hydroxide or metal nitride reacted with H2O, it will only give a metal hydroxide. Okay, so please be remembered that whenever the metal oxide, metal hydride or metal nitride is being reacted with H2O, it will give a metal hydroxide instead. Okay, so this is the reaction of metals reacting with nitrogen as well. Okay, so let's move to the next reaction, that is reaction with water. So whenever alkaline earth metals, they react with water, they will produce metal hydroxide. Okay, but in the case of beryllium and magnesium, they do not readily react with cold water. Okay, because their reactivity is less. So what happens, we need to react the magnesium and beryllium with hot water itself. Okay, so whenever the magnesium and beryllium is reacting with hot water, it will also form metal hydroxide. Okay, so it is not that there will be any differentiation between the hot water and cold water. I have already discussed it in the alkali metals part as well, but I will be repeating myself here in this video as well. Okay, so whenever and hot water or cold water, it doesn't matter, is being reacted with the metals, it will only form a hydroxide. Okay, so whenever hot water or cold water, it doesn't matter, whenever it is being reacted with any metal, it will form hydroxide only, metal hydroxide part. But if steam is being reacted with metals, so water vapor or steam is being reacted with metal, it will form metal oxide only. So only when the steam, that is water vapor, is being reacted with metals, it will form a metal hydroxide or metal oxide. So okay, so only when the steam, the water vapor is being reacted with metals, it will form metal oxide. Other than that, in the case of hot water or cold water, it doesn't matter, it will only form metal hydroxide. Okay, so the last reaction of today's topic is reaction with halogens. So whenever an alkaline earth metal is being reacted directly with halogen, it will give a metal halides. As we know, alkaline earth metal is a metal, and whenever it is reacted with a non-metal like halogen, it will do a ionic bonding. Okay, and that leads to a ionic molecule itself. So suppose a calcium is being reacted with chlorine, it will form a bond between Ca and Cl, and this will be an ionic bond, and that deals with leads to a ionic compound, that is CaCl2. Okay, so this was the reactions of alkaline earth metal. Okay, so in this S block elements we have two groups, that is alkali group and alkaline earth metals, alkaline metals and alkaline earth metals. We have discussed the physical and the chemical properties of all of these groups as well. Okay, so I hope you have understood this part. Okay, in this class I have discussed about the chemical properties only, but in the previous classes I have discussed about the physical and chemical properties of alkali metals as well as alkaline earth metals. Okay, so I hope you have understood this part very well. If you have any kind of doubt regarding today's topic or regarding this chapter, please ask me in the comment section below. So thank you very much. Bye.